Hello and welcome to a new devlog video for Peasant Uprise. Today, I'll share my process when it comes to building a level. It all starts with a preset list of tasks that I keep in Trello.com. While some tasks are more time consuming than others, at the end the entire group is a good representation of the different items that are needed to compose a level. I also break it down into 3 iterations. The first one that handles about 70% of the level building, a second one that handles parts that might be multi-level such as quests and challenges, and a final iteration for polishing, optimization, and testing. As you can see, the first item is documenting the level, and more than writing down a ton of stuff, my goal here is to take a bit of time to just think about what I want to accomplish with these levels. What is the challenge? What's going to be introduced? What will be the base enemies that the player will encounter? How is this level important for the storyline or the rebellion? All those things come to mind. As you can see, I don't go extremely crazy and it's more of a mental exercise. But since I also document the quests, it is helpful to define what elements the level need to have. I find storyboarding very helpful to have a visual representation of how the level is going to look like. Knowing from the documentation all the elements that I need, I carefully place them and visualize the navigation or natural progression that the player will experience. I have a template scene as a starting point that already contains all the main elements to run the game. UI, camera, main controller, managers, terrain, nav mesh, etc. I will have to change some configuration of course and relink to a new terrain file, but having this template saves me a ton of time and minimizes errors. The main goal is that without any coding I can add a new level that I can navigate without errors, even if it's just a flat surface. Placing the main road, sculpting and painting the terrain comes next. And they're all related tasks that I normally do in parallel because they're dependent on each other. Terrain height needs to account for the road, and the textures used in painting need to match the terrain characteristics. Moving on, I also started laying out the buildings, starting with some blueprints to block off areas where properties will be placed. Most houses and farms are really composition of smaller asset prefabs, but it's still an art to put them all together and to create not just a house, but a living property with all the items, props, NPCs and animals that will inhabit this place. It needs to come alive, it needs to feel like it's part of this world and this region. There are ways of placing trees, rocks and grass rapidly. Nonetheless, dressing the scene with nature still takes some time, but I have to say the more levels that I work on, the faster I'm getting at reaching that look that I'm looking for. Troops are dynamically instantiating in the scene because troops are not static. Troops will receive reinforcements as the days go by, so really what I'm placing is a spawn point with a troop controller, and the rest is handled by code. Thanks to the documentation written in the first steps, I should have an exact idea of what I want and even the dialogue for the quests. It's still a delicate matter considering a quest could be active and applicable across multiple levels, and that's why I'm tackling most advanced quests towards the end of the development. So in a nutshell, this is what's required to build a level in Peasant Uprise. The first few ones took me about 2 to 3 weeks each, but a big part of it was also building the assets for trees and rocks and the textures that I wanted, pretty much building the collection of everything. But as I'm done with these collections and I'm getting more practice and more comfortable and I have a good workflow, I've managed to reduce this significantly. Please subscribe to the channel and click on the bell to receive notifications for future devlogs. Thanks. With that said, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next update.